probably know if you watched my videos recently, I haven't actually been on any adventures for a while because I adopted a new dog. But I'm hoping to get out there soon, which has put me in mind of one of my favourite subjects, which is, of course, toilets, dump stations, as I like to think of them. I didn't used to be so passionate about it until I started living in the van a couple of years ago, and then you become extremely interested in toilet options. So I thought I would just do a quick video today of some of the toilet options which I've used in this van and also in the car when I've been car camping. Got 5 different things which I personally have used. So I'm just going to quickly go through them all and give you a little rundown of the pros and cons that I found of each to see if you might find it useful when choosing some method to go to the toilet if you are going van or car camping. Just to let you know, we're going to be going through a chemical toilet, a composting toilet, and 3 other extremely simple methods of going to the toilet. So starting with the chemical, I'm actually sitting on it. This is where I keep it in here. So let's take a look. Let's take a look. I haven't used this for a long time, and I don't know if you can see, but it's absolutely covered in dirt. Delicious. Now you can use this, and I did indeed used to use it in here. You can just sit on it like so. I found that pretty convenient to keep it out of the way. I would say that this one is the most like a normal toilet. This is a large version, which actually the guy who I bought this van off had bought, so I got it off him unused. Lovely virgin toilet. So yeah, this one is quite tall, as you can see, so it feels more like sitting on a normal toilet, and it also flushes. So if you use it like a normal toilet, you're going to feel most at home with this one. I think this costs like over £100. They do obviously come in different sizes, so you could get a smaller, cheaper one. But yeah, if you want it to feel like a proper toilet, you're going to need to go for a big one like this. So yeah, I like this. I like the fact that it feels like a real toilet. What I didn't like about it was disposing of it. Now, I did use this on the first camping trip that I did, and when it came to emptying it, I just never wanted to have to do that again. I found it deeply unpleasant. So after that, I only ever used it for a wee, but I still found it quite inconvenient to take it apart. You can only empty it in a proper emptying point, like on a campsite, or down your toilet at home. So that's fine too if you want to just throw it down there. But it's not particularly easy to do out and about. I always use this organic liquid. Now, better for the environment. I have to say, I'm not sure if this works as well as the one that comes with the toilet if you buy it from them. It's a Setford toilet, this one. Oh, here's something else I used to go to the toilet, which I would not recommend. It unclips, and then that bottom section, you're going to take inside. So you can see it's quite large and heavy. So let's put that back in there. Oh, I found another one. So smart. Okay, your bonus 6th option I forgot about is these. We just look at this one. Obviously, it's really, really cute. This is the cutest of the options. So if you want to take a cute wee, that's great. Oh, his head comes off. It's got a nice big cup to insert. Just insert in the correct place. Oh, he's hungry for wee. Yeah. However, one, this does not contain a lot of wee. And for me, this is not big enough for like weeing through the night. Also, this is what I find really bizarre about it. Look at it. That's not going to stand up. So like, what do you do with it when it's full of wee? So, okay, these ones, I don't see the point of it. So these are going back in here. Next up, our little composting toilet. There we go. You've got a urine separator. So obviously you wee in the front, you do your solids in the back, and then you put on something to cover it with. The wee tray below composting toilet. This is what I have been using in the car for like the past year. So I got the smallest one because trying to find something you can actually use in a car and sit on with the headroom that you have in a car is really difficult. If you're in a van, much easier. So that is why I got the smallest one. That really is my complaint about it, that the small one is actually quite hard to use. Like, by the time you get on it, I'll just mount the toilet, like so. I'm basically taking up all the space on here. It's a little bit tricky to use. It feels less like a normal toilet than the other one, but that is kind of because of the size. This whole arrangement is very small. When you're sitting on here, you're going to find it more hard to use. Plus, this somehow doesn't seem quite high enough. And this is not very big, so you probably can't let out all your wee at once, or this is gonna fill up. It won't drain fast enough through here, and it will go over the back. However, this is wee proof, so it is good for traveling. Also, the composting toilet, if you don't know anything about them, you need to make sure that you wee in the front and you poo in the back, because that's how they work, by separating things. So you need to practice doing one thing at a time, so you can come forward for a wee and back for a number 2. As far as the compostingness goes, if you're using this in a vehicle, you're not going to be composting, because it takes a long time to actually make compost. So that's only really going to be relevant if you're using it at home. I think I'm going to get off this toilet. There we go. Yeah, you're only really going to be composting at home, but I think what is good about this, what I like about it, is that it is easy to empty. So the back section, you are just going to be tying that and putting it in the bin like you would with dog poo or any other rubbish. And the front, again, you can empty it down a toilet. That's usually what I would do. Or empty it somewhere sensible. And don't empty it in the same place all the time. If you want a proper review of any of these toilets with more details, let me know. This is the wee container of this one. So it's a lot smaller. And you can quite easily just put that in a shopping bag to take it to the toilet. So it's just a lot easier to dispose of than the chemical toilet. This is the most expensive. I think this one cost £200, and a very good friend of mine who knew about my obsession with dump stations actually got this for me as a gift, so thank you. I've used it a lot. Mainly for a wee, I admit, because I personally think it's for desperation, but I always wanted to feel like if there was an upset and I really needed to go to the toilet, I'm going to be able to do it. So I have felt very comfortable having this in the car. But now I've got young Lady Galadriel, who is also hopefully going to be coming out in the car with me. I don't think there's room for this, so I need to think of a different arrangement, which is more likely going to be one of these other arrangements, which I'm going to show you now. Okay, not this actual one that says sausage on the outside. In fact, the one that I used originally came with the van and it was opaque, and that's what I'd recommend for this, because you don't really want to be seeing inside. But the point is, you can buy many products that come in a plastic tub like this. Now, this is what I used originally for the dreaded number 2. You just put a plastic bag in it. Again, an opaque one, black would be ideal. Maybe a giant poo bag if you can make that work. Giant. I have to use the word giant. Sit upon it quite gently, because obviously it's not very strong, but you get the idea. You can read a book, smoke a cigarette, basically enjoy yourself. And yes, so this option, it's easy to use, it's easy to dispose of, it's cheap. It may come with sausage inside, and yeah, and it's easy to store as well. So if you're just going to be using something for emergencies, this is good. And probably I'm going to be moving back onto something like this in the car. Now, I used to use this in combination with my trusty wee bottle. Now, I really like this. This is what I used to use all the time in the van. It's relatively cheap. I bought this on Amazon. What was I looking for? A large size, because I am a weeer, so a little one wasn't going to be any good. This is like 2,200 milliliters, which is the least that I need overnight and in the morning. And a nice wide top. Now, I appreciate that if you're a man, you're probably going to have little interest in any of these, because going for a wee is an awful lot easier for you. Although going for a number 2 is basically the same. But yeah, you're probably not going to be worried about, things to wee into. But as a woman, it's a lot more difficult. And yeah, a lot of things just have too narrow a neck. So this one, practice over the bath, but it's easy to use, and plus because it's actually a water bottle, it's got a good tight seal, so you can put this into your bag and you can put it in your bag, carry it somewhere to dispose of it wherever you normally dispose of wee. And yeah, that's good. Then just clean it out, keep it clean. So I like that. The problem with using this in the car, again, like I always used to use this standing up. You know, you need to be able to get an angle on it. Although, you know, you might be able to sort of do something like that. But again, the point is, I'm not sure if this can be used in the car because of the lack of headroom. So I'm going to have to get in there and see how much space there is to use something like this. Because if I'm not taking the compost toilet for a wee, I need something else for a wee. And, you know, it's going to have to be something like this. So we need to try this in the car. So this, I recommend. Now, this one is good as well. It's actually is a lidded bucket. Perfect. It's actually a nappy bucket, apparently, according to my mother. It's really strong. It's got a proper lid to keep in any odors. And yeah, you could, it is clean. I've been using it in the garden. There's an insect in it. Just staring in it. Oh my God, that's been in there for years. No, it's fine. So that's really strong. So again, it's going to be easier to use than the previous plastic one because you can actually sit on it. I mean, you can if you weigh what I weigh, maybe not if you're like super heavy, but it is strong, so you can actually sit on it. Great, cheap to buy, dispose of it in the same way, so it's easy. Again, yeah, you're probably going to want to use that in combination with your wee bottle. Obviously you could wee in it if you were going to empty it again in the morning if you were camping somewhere, but I don't think the seal on this, you wouldn't want to drive with wee sloshing around in here because I wouldn't think that was totally safe. So yeah, you're going to want to empty it in the morning, but this is good. This is a good option. It's cheap. It's not too big for storing. I wouldn't want to store other things that weren't toilet related inside it because they do tend to take on scents of things that you put inside them. So yeah, this is a good option though. Cheap and cheerful. I like this, and it still feels a lot more like a toilet than crouching on this. Like if you use this, you're going to feel pretty feral. And that is what a lot of this comes down to, whether you feel feral or not, you know? So what have we done? Chemical, compost, nappy, wee bottle, that pot. Okay, I think we've triumphed. I think that's everything that we've been through. So yeah, you've got different options from cheap and cheerful to expensive and more fancy. Different options for disposal, and I think it's just whatever works for you, what space you've got, what you feel comfortable with, what price you want to pay, and of course you might want to try a few things out and see how they work out for you. I think that moving forward in the car without having space for the composting toilet, I am going to have to take some arrangement like this. This is going to be for desperation. Nobody poos in a car unless they're desperate, just saying. But I do need to be able to wee, so probably going to have to be something like this. But at least I'll have Lady Galadriel with me. So I see I'm still sitting on the nappy bin. I hope that you found this useful. If you, if you want any proper review videos like of the composting toilet, I'm happy to do that. Let me know. I hope you found it a bit useful. I'm sure there's many other vessels that you could use to go to the toilet. So if you've used any other ones, write it in the comments. For me, ease of disposal was a really big thing. So having something that I could just put in my bag, whether it's this or the wee pot from the composting toilet, is what made me really like them, because then you can just walk down to the public toilet or whatever and put it in there. It's just so much easier than the chemical toilet for disposing of. But really it just depends where you're going. If you're going to campsites all the time, that might be totally fine for you. And as I say, if you've got space for the big one, does feel a lot more like a toilet, and you know, some people might not feel comfortable like having to crouch on the floor to go to the loo. Anyway, I'm waffling. This was supposed to be 10 minutes long. It's going to be much longer, so apologies. I hope that it was slightly useful. Thanks for watching. I'm so sorry that Lady Galadriel couldn't be here. She just said she had absolutely no interest in coming outside, and I haven't managed to get her to step foot in the van yet, and she hates the car. So yeah, we'll talk more about that next week, because we are moving on to car camper Yeti conversion number 3, where there's going to be room for a tall human and a tall long-legged dog. Yeah, have a great weekend. Thanks for watching. See you next week, hopefully. Bye.